Welcome everyone to Price Action Live at TradersPost for September 30th, 2025. I'm one of your traders, Tom Hartman, alongside Mike NQ Sniper Christensen. I was going to change your name back to negative RR, but I'm not sure which one I like better. Co-founder and CSO of TradersPost.
I appreciate the nicknames nonetheless.
Up to 4 days a week at Price Action Live, we trade in front of you using the advanced trade execution engine known as TradersPost, the epic software that upgrades your trading. Whether trading stocks, futures, options, or crypto, TradersPost has got you covered. And today, we're trading prop firm accounts. I'm on Top Step. Mike, you are on TraderFi, but we can still use the TradersPost software in order to link our accounts together, which is fun. It's great to be able to go into the back end of our of the platform at TradersPost.io, set up a given strategy, connect that strategy to our subscriptions, which are tied to our prop firm accounts, and then be able to send one signal from TradingView over to TradersPost in order to execute it at our brokers. Now we can set this up with prop firms. We could set it up with crypto. We can set it up with brokers of all kinds. We can mix and match. We can have different sort of settings for each one, and that's one of the fun things about using the platform. Now we're using TradingView, but you can use any signal source. You just need to be able to send a signal off to a webhook at TradersPost, and we'll be able to execute your signal.
So I did have a really interesting conversation with a prop firm trader yesterday. Hey, what's up, Aventura? Thanks for joining us, man. Where she was a little bit confused about the lines that we actually had on the charts. And she made an interesting observation where she assumed that if I drug a line to some location on my chart here, am I sharing my screen?
Oh, let me switch back.
So I'm dragging my lines on the chart, and she saw these lines as resting orders with the broker. That's an interesting observation to make, because that's what we would expect to happen if we were using the TradingView order panel. But it works a little bit differently here, where these lines really just represent a price point on the screen, and I've attached an alert to it. Now I'm looking to get the price to cross this line and then trigger an alert, which then goes to TradersPost, which then configures my order. And that order can be a market order or a limit order, depending on how I've configured it on TradersPost. So there is no standing orders with the broker until the event has left, or the signal as we call it, has left TradingView and arrived at TradersPost. So she was like, well, am I even able to trade the current candle then and trade a market order? And the answer, of course, is yes. If you watch Price Action Live every day, you'll see that's pretty much what I'm doing every single time. I'll drag the line down to the current candle and drop it anywhere on the candle. The moment I do that, it triggers off the alert and it fires a market order with TradeView at that point across all my prop firm accounts. But I did want to clarify that she had a really good observation here, that she kind of assumed these lines were limit orders, and they indeed are not limit orders. They are just lines prepared on my screen ready for me to trade. Oh, cool. Zach Anthony has joined us this morning. What's up, man? How are you? If you guys are following along here, Zach was a recent participant in our show, Trading Bot Sessions. Really great episode, covered a lot of his process for how he trades. Would love to also have you on for Price Action Live here, Zach. So maybe we can set it up to where you can join us and trade the open.
Today is option expiration day for the quarterly options expirations for September, which is one of the 4 quarterly options expirations that happen throughout the year. And it means that anything can happen, because we just had the weekly finish, sort of. We had the if we have the quarterly done, then volatility might not be very well supplied, which means there could be a weakening, a softening of what's going on with price movements. So if an event happens, something goes on, a tweet goes out, a piece of information comes in that's not expected, it could really move markets pretty drastically, which is why many markets crash in September, October, or around quarterly expirations. So we'll see today. Now, we're not going to trade expecting a crash today, but I do wonder if we are in lower high territory for MNQ. If I pull up my chart here, you'll see that my next daily level, the high that I'm expected for today, would be around 24,866. We did get a lower high
per NQ.
Per NQ, forgive me, yes.
Okay.
The previous session did do that lower high here at 24,976. If we get a bounce over here, I think we could roll over and head towards the weekly level at 24,738. But if that's happening, then I'm expecting this downtrend and we can get all the way down to 150, 160 or something like that, which is around, I think you had a level at 24,200.
I do. The 24,200 is definitely the next biggest support line. However, we had this interesting lower high bounce off at 24,450, or the wick is 24,424. So I'm very curious if that is some support line that I'm unaware of. I actually didn't expect the market to reverse here. But now that it has, this is an area I want to keep an eye on. So I've actually marked this as S2 on my chart. S1 is the current support zone that we're in right now that we've wicked off of for the last several hours in the overnight session, which is at the 24,800 zone.
Okay, so you can see it going either way here then.
I can. I mean, obviously, this is starting to show support here at this line, but I think we need to get above the weekly VWAP for me to feel like it's going to come back up and test R1. Otherwise, if we break down from here, cross below some of these moving averages, I would anticipate we see a pretty big pullback. Overall, the structure of this move starts to look like a fib retrace, but it retraced way too far for it to feel correct. So then that means you kind of have to zoom out and say, well, was this actually something closer to an 0236 retrace on the longer time frame? Let's take a look. If I pull the retrace line from here to the high, it looks like it almost got to the 0382 level. So it's not on either direction, whether you're looking at it on the short term or the longer term here, it just doesn't quite form the retrace that we would expect. So I'm not a fan of the Fibonacci structure here. This looks like a weird retest of the high, and it could come back and test R1 once more before we fall back down again.
Understood. Interesting. Bitcoin is at a similar curious level where we have Bitcoin broke out on my system back to bullish trend. We did come to retest here this daily level at 112.8, which makes me, normally this means we can continue a bounce up to 116. The problem that I have with Bitcoin is that whatever move happens on Monday, with Bitcoin, I call it Marauder Monday, because often whatever move happens on Monday gets completely reversed for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And so since we had a 4% move up on 4.8% move up on Monday, I'm almost inclined to look for a short down to 110.5. But we'll see. Let's see what happens. The dollar here is the thing that's most suspicious. I mean, right back up to its to the channel, right back up to indecision. So
I saw that too. Taking a look at the 2-hour chart for the dollar, we obviously wicked off that lowest low here at 96.21, and it's been pretty bullish since then, which usually spells bad news for equities. But yeah, right in the middle of this channel since July 1st.
I heard Lynn Alden call herself a bearish bull, and that's really what I am. I'm inclined to believe, yeah.
So neutral on the market is what I'm reading from that.
Well, short-term volatility towards the downside with always a long-term bias, which is what the market is like. There's no
which is what we talk about all the time. I'm always going to be a bull. I always believe in stocks for the long run, which is a fantastic book, by the way, if you haven't read it. It's the markets go up and to the right over the very long run, but there are lots of short-term pullbacks. And when they happen, they're usually accompanied with decent volatility. Lately, though, Tom, the VIX hasn't even crossed 20. Like, are we going to get to real volatility again?
Well, this is for the VIX is like there's some thought that we can't rely on it anymore as a true measure of the volatility being supplied, because it's part of so many calculations. There's this feedback mechanism, this reflexivity that happens with those contracts that makes it harder to follow. So people follow the next month contracts out, or the VVIX, or certain types of indexes that they could check correlations for in order to see what the volatility is. But I don't know. I haven't used VIX in like quite a while as my measure.
It's got to be a really loud signal for it to really pick up the market's intent. I do believe you're correct on that. All right, so right out the gate here, let's pay attention to what's happening on the first few candles. Remember, S1 was about 24,800, and it seems like it's looking to head back and touch that line right off the bat. The 15-minute chart candle looks pretty bearish, but we're right in that support zone. So right now, I really kind of have to feel like I either buy if we close above VWAP because we're in S1, or it needs to break outside of this band before I'm ready to go short.
Right. The overnight session was brutally sideways. Just enough to make me lose my, I lost my funded account, one of my funded accounts. I find it so much easier to pass evaluations than to maintain the funded account. There's a mental block there.
I think that can happen where your attitude starts to change about the funded account. But really, I think for me, I have to just try to not pay attention to what stage it's even in and just keep trading the same way.
I just feel like I take so much risk inside of an eval account.
Oh, you take more. Yeah, that's true.
But then I take less risk inside of the funded and it dies faster. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing something wrong here.
All right, so I've got my scalp lines prepared, but I am going to pause those for now if I can. A little bit of congestion on TradingView here, and the alerts aren't triggering just yet.
All right.
Also, ATR is actually kind of low this morning. I expected a little bit larger of a candle to print, but these are fairly small.
I'm currently in a Bitcoin short.
Okay.
So let's see how that plays out.
Let's see your screen. What's the setup there?
So I'm in a Bitcoin short here, and I'm expecting a drop towards, well, not expecting, but what I would want here to see, as long as we're below this weekly VWAP and the daily VWAP, I'm inclined to go towards the downside and hit this level here, which is 111.5. So short 3 contracts, that'd be $628 if it gets down there, and I'd be happy with that. It would be invalidated if we get above 114. What's my level? 115 is my stop, and if that happens, I'm likely to switch to long in order to move up to the 117, 165 level.
Got it.
This past weekend, I completely refactored, rejiggered my indicators. So I was like, I'm missing something here. There's certain options, certain features. I'm missing something as we're doing these price action lives. And I go, I got to use that information to really enhance the accuracy, the fixed repainting, make things a little bit more reflective of what happens intraday. Because I'm so used to trading swing and long term.
Same. And that's a process to get to this point where you kind of pull out some of the long-term thinking that you had for swing positions, and you've got to think in a much shorter time period on these prop accounts. As I've spoken to more and more prop firm traders, it feels like many of us feel compelled and almost forced to look at scalping as an opportunity because we just need those small, consistent wins. It's really hard to succeed in a trend following strategy, especially if you have draw ups and then you're back into your entry point. That can be really painful for accounts that have real-time drawdown mechanisms.
Right.
So I went ahead and started a small, I'm in a small micro position, 3 micros across multiple accounts, all 10 actually. And so if I go to my TradersPost dashboard, I can see here the P&L across all my accounts at the same time, or I can go to my all accounts dashboard and I can see all the accounts connected to it here along with their open P&L for each one. I mean, very bearish, 15-minute candle. Pretty happy with the opening here. Probably could have gotten it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to give myself a few minutes before I took a position. So I'm going to average into this one, and I'm adding a second leg right below VWAP.
Oh, interesting.
Now I still want to scalp, so I'm going to do what I call a scalp overlay, where I'm adding, I have my micro position open. I might be adding to that micro position, but then I'll add one scalp on top of that, which is only for those 10 points.
So I know you are short-minded like me sometimes, where you like...
I like the short-term pullbacks.
So do you also, when you're looking... No, we have actually, we talked about this before. If you see the price moving down like this, you're not looking for a reversal. Like, you're not this contrarian, like, I want to get the bounce back up and feel like a hero because I caught the bottom of the dead cat bounce all the way back up. You want to get the pullback in order to continue the trend.
Yeah, I want the pullback for as long as it's available, but these days that doesn't seem to be for very long. There might be a decent move to the downside today if we can. We just talked about it on the 2-hour chart. If we can break these moving averages and break this wick at 750, potentially there's a move down to 585 or even as low as 450. And if that's the case, this trend following strategy is going to do quite well. But I'm going to have to just trail my stop with this approach and then scalp at the same time to see if I can catch enough profit today.
Aventura says that his automated strategy just took a short.
Feels right.
You're on the same side. You're on the side of history here. And the Jolt's job openings are at 10 a.m. today. I didn't get a chance to take a look at the chart to see how the Jolt's openings affect markets. But I guess we'll see how much of a miss it is, if it is a miss at all. I mean, the market has pretty much accepted that, one, the methodology for counting the jobs is poor, and two, we're going to get more rate cuts. So the only thing that can really hurt us is bad news causes the, good news. Too much good news can make the market price out rate cuts, but that's not even happening. So I'm not expecting a big move. I'm more concerned about, what is it, the non-farm payroll this week that's supposed to be coming out on Friday. Everyone's talking about the non-farm payroll because they're saying that they might not release the information if there's going to be a government shutdown. Like, ooh, I haven't been in that situation before. How do you chart that?
Great, we're hiding the information now. Okay.
Exactly. So people are like, well, it can't be good news if they would hide it. Why would you would at least leak that it's good news or whatever it is. Like,
yeah. Oh, interesting. So I have a crazy glare off this building behind me this morning. So I feel like I'm enclosed and blanketed in sunlight right now.
The rapture is happening for you, Mike.
Okay, so I wasn't able to get that second leg, but I'm still in the first leg, and I was able to catch a profitable scalp. So far I'm up 600 on the bigger accounts, 350 on the smaller.
All right, so you're in your second trade.
Well, one scalp successful. I'm still in the first leg of a trend following short.
Got it. Well, my Bitcoin is bouncing.
Looks like gold is trying to head upward as well. So I do have an automated gold strategy that will attempt to take a position in a bit here.
The funding stresses that are happening throughout the global financial system, as far as the US dollar is concerned, is pretty substantial. But there's this there's this line of thought I've been following with like Lynn Alden and Raoul Powell and some other people, where they go, the business cycle that we're in right now has been extended by 1 year because of COVID, and that we have another year's worth of bull market before we have to worry about any downward movement or liquidity constraints. And so that the funding issues that we're having within the global system is actually causing central banks to add liquidity secretly or behind the scenes. And so that we should be favoring the upside over the next year, which I find to be hard to believe, but I'm bearish minded.
I do. I mean, you and I have figured this out from the many analysis episodes that we've done, that the government doesn't want to allow big crashes anymore. So even if there is a short-term pullback, it's going to be short-lived before they inject liquidity back into the market.
That's right.
So we just have to keep an eye on the bond market.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, the bond markets, the foreign bond markets are brutal right now. Interest rates just keep rising. But you know, I'm pro-America, so I take a look at the U.S. Treasuries.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, that was the second leg of my trend following short, and I'm also going to attempt to scalp here in just a moment. I want to see where this next candle arrives. That's the guy.
Mike is pulling up to the putting green with a 5 iron.
It starts to feel that way, right?
It's good.
All right. I need us to stay below VWAP, obviously. Otherwise, this is going to be an L for the day.
My trade was unfortunate. I did get into a short on Bitcoin before markets opened, but I think I FOMO'd into it. I should have shorted from VWAP, but I didn't want to miss the move. Stupid Tom.
All right, this candle's bothering me just a little bit. I need a little bit more of a pullback from here. I'm going to get my exit line prepared on the other side of VWAP for the trend following strategy so that I can manage the loss on that. Assuming we post above VWAP. At this point, it's looking pretty good.
Right. Well, for the NASDAQ, as long as you stay below 24,775, it's still bearish.
I just needed to pull back to 750 and I'll take profit.
Oh, so close. 750.
So close.
Oh my God.
I mean, it almost wicked on it at 755. I was almost there. It's looking like the right retrace here off of VWAP. And that second candle off of the wick there looks like a rejection. But this current candle is what has me a little concerned.
Yeah.
It feels like the bulls are trying to step in.
Because it's inside the previous candle and that one's inside of the previous one.
Yeah.
Well, you get 1 minute and 53 seconds for the ending of this 15-minute. So anything could happen.
Sitting on my hands, Tom. Sometimes that's what trading is just sitting on your hands, waiting for things to play out. Might be kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can move this up just a little bit. You guys can see how close my NQ scalp is to profit. Yep. Literally on the line. Let's go. Just a couple more ticks.
Yeah, 54.
And this is in 1 NQ across the smaller accounts, 2 NQ across the larger accounts. And I'm just taking it for a 10-point ride. Okay, that's killing me. That's killing me right there.
Ugh, brutal.
Fortunately, this might be my L for the day then. And I've been trying to be pretty strict about how I manage losses in this way. So that just filled the loss for my scalp. And I'm going to get ready to probably wind down this trend following strategy if we close above VWAP here. It happens. Sometimes the trade just turns against you. Yeah, I'm going to take it. It's feeling pretty bullish. All right, so that's right off of the S1 line, and that's what I was kind of trying to look out for. We needed a nice clean close below these 2-hour moving averages in order for this to start to look like more of a bearish move. So it feels like a fake out here. What do you think, Tom?
We
got the 15-minute candle closing in 4 seconds, and it's right here at S1 support.
Yeah, so I'm inclined to believe that it is going to reverse and roll over.
In which case,
we're right below the VWAP. A sell signal just appeared in the 1 minute. It's really into resistance on all my time frames except for 2 hour.
Interesting.
And 2 hour was overbought yesterday, so the trend is downwards.
Okay, so I'm going to take another scalp at some point, but the rules that I've put together here dictate that because I've taken one loss so far today, and that loss was the largest of my losses that I allow, I have to really keep my stop really close to this one. So it's got to be profitable nearly right away. This feels like a 90s video game, the music.
Yeah.
Feels like SimCity or something.
Yeah, 100%. Trailing stop activated for an $8 profit for Ventura. Better than a loss. Absolutely.
Better than a loss, for sure. All right, that's the S1 line. We're right in the middle of this channel again. It's starting to look like an indecision candle on the 2-hour chart. Pretty small open so far for the daily. And overall, we're back to being down negative 15 or 0.15%. I hate these, Tom. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
If it just snakes around VWAP, it's going to be another choppy day.
The thing is, if I know it's going to snake around, then I know how to trade that.
That's true. And that's why I try to stick with the 10-point scalping. As long as ATR is high enough for it to make sense.
But for me, there's no... Go ahead.
I was going to say, when ATR starts to get below 6 or 5 on NQ, it's so small it can go either direction, and those are the worst periods and areas to trade. So you only really have the first hour and a half of the session when ATR is highest.
Right. There's just no high.
Here's the test.
Reversal.
Are we gonna test VWAP here? I want to know if the bulls are going to show up or if we're going to close below VWAP here. Still got it for 10. That's looking bullish.
Yeah. They're right at weekly support.
I'm silly. I've got some of my other indicators turned off here.
Driving blind.
I am driving blind. There we go. Dang, this is going to be another tough one.
Yeah.
If it reverses down from here, I'm done for the day, Tom. That just killed me.
Yeah. Come on, where are you going here? Where are you going?
It's starting to feel like yesterday a little bit. Every single trade, I was buying or selling top wick, and it would reverse against me. Just couldn't catch the trend in the direction I needed. So unfortunately, that'll be my L for the day. That's enough of a hit for me to say I'm out. Can't do this anymore.
Right. Well, I don't have a certain direction, so.
Ready to call it from here then?
Yeah, that's it for me. There's only so many times you can get punched in the face some days.
That's true.
You just got to go heal.
That's how it starts to feel. All right, Tom. Well, we'll wrap it up from here. We've got some guests hopefully this week. We're still looking to set up a trade with Farming Futures, and we're going to get set up with him hopefully Thursday, as long as weather is supportive. So we'll keep you guys posted on other guests that are going to join us here on Price Action Live. Keep an ear out.
Awesome. Remember, guys, if you're interested in using TradersPost, go to TradersPost.io. Use the coupon code PropScaling20 in order to get 20% off your plan, including add-ons. So if you're already a subscriber to TradersPost, you can still take advantage of as well. See you tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, we wish you, as always, happy trading.